the hash, I'm going to go and say we have a cape required agonum coming up here just because of that. But of course, the hash means nothing in that regard. I just like to analyze further into that than we should. It looks like my commentary stream might have been behind. I'm going to refresh that right now as I am seeing the first item in the Link's House was 10 arrows. I am caught up now and seeing it live. So we are going to head to the castle. And what we're going to find at the castle is our, unfortunately, again, let me get another look at that map, check to quote it correctly. We have crystals all over the light world, by the way. Red crystal number 6 up at Tower Hera. We're going to find our poor, unfortunate uncle sitting on the ground, basically having been assailed by something. He's going to give us some kind of a weapon. That weapon is a sword! We have a vanilla sword on the uncle, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have very elementary escape here. All that practice for other items, we're getting to do it the normal way today. So let's see what we get in the next chest here. We already got some sticks, and we're getting silver sticks. So now we're going to make our way over to the castle, and Frostbite is ahead, so I'm going to follow Frostbite here. So they're going to head into the castle. They're going to walk around to the back, because going upstairs does nothing right now. Going north upstairs, that is. So they're going to walk around either left or right. Most runners usually go left. Once in a while, someone will go right. And what we're going to find when we get around to the back, there is a door back here that they're going to walk into, and that's going to take them downstairs into the basement. And now we're in the dungeon element of the castle. Going to take out the guard here. Look at that, we have a power glove. This is a pretty good start for these runners. So you can knock these guards into the pit, but why waste your time? Well, you can kill them with pots, that works too, I guess. We know that arrows are in the item pool. Runners do want to find bombs. Etium was lucky to find a bomb. Frostbite, not so much yet. That bomb will be used in the back of the escape to blow a hole in the wall and get some lovely, lovely items. I believe I am joined by our Tony now. Are you there?
Just a little better late than never.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself? How's chat doing?
Looks like chat's doing okay so far, I see. We do have a few people in there chatting about the race here, so we are on our way to the basement.
Escape, am I correct?
Yep, we're on the way to the third part of the basement right now, and we're
going
going
to... a sword and a glove and silver? What is the scene?
Yeah. This is almost the free pass to everything here. We just need better sword for Gan, and obviously everything for the bosses, and we're good. So let's see what we find as Frostbite is second to get the big key. Etium got it first with his battle strats. Frostbite had to rely on a pot. Both runners do have the girl, and they're on the way out. Frostbite has to stop to kill the guard who noticed him. Etium got around him.
Alright, I'm just going to be over here hoping for a ped seat at the least then. Make this interesting. I'm a masochist, what can I say?
You're a fan of the hook shot or something like that on the pedestal, huh?
I'm a fan of people getting trolled by the seed, which is why I'm disappointed by it being so clean so easily, and very hopeful this is going to lead to trouble further on.
The bigger thing that you're looking for, I think, is a pedestal required seed where they have to get the pedestal item. I actually did see a pedestal required cane of Burna seed in the spoiler log tournament the other day, and they didn't have to pick it up because it was just for Laser Bridge.
I know I was tracking one a little earlier that had... Gosh, what was it? It was pedestal ether to get into one of the crystal dungeons.
Nice. I had that with the bombos for Total Rock once. Anyway, back to the race here. We are looking at the runners now coming to the second floor. The princess is going to help them push aside a bookcase that Link is not strong enough to push. He should have got the Titan's Mitt in order to get to the back of Escape. And the game is hard-coded at this point to assume that you have a lamp, because the game normally forces you to have the lamp before you come in here. The princess will stop you from coming back here without the lamp. Because it's hard-coded, you automatically get the lamp anyway. And the developers did not remove that. They left it there because that's normally there. So I've come to call this Zelda's lamp because, you know, as soon as the princess is at the sanctuary, you come back here again and you're going to be in the dark again. So you better get that dark cross just while you're back here.
I think that should get some light on the situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that dark chest item... Dark cross item, rather. That's the key. It had to be the key. So
And
there
that's
you go.
one of the tricks to keep them from getting stuck here in the room, right?
That's right. You have to have that key in order to move on. So if it's not in the earlier chest, it has to be in that room.
Frostbite's only a couple seconds behind. I'm clocking in about 5. So I don't think we'll get too much diversion between them unless RNG mixes up early.
Etium had a little bit of difficulty hitting the right rat there. I think he lost about a second there. So we're going to see what the difference is as the hole is blown in the wall. Frostbite did get a bomb. Etium entering the room at 528. And 533, Frostbite.
It's a nice rod.
We saw a cold one back there, as well as a couple other less useful items, pieces of heart. We already have chat calling for a pen and turtle rock based on that. So now they're at the sanctuary. 601 for Etium to push the other bookcase aside. 606 for Frostbite pushing the other bookcase aside. So 5-second difference in it right now. Very good escape. Yep, very good escape.
Get a little bit more love from that chest.
Already 3 pieces of heart. That's one more, and they got a full heart out of it.
And I know at this stage you usually have runners that are pretty good in avoiding getting hit, period, but there's nothing wrong with having as many heart containers as you get on the way to things. Like, you don't necessarily need to go out of your way for them, but if you happen to get them, it's always appreciated.
Now, neither runner is going to the Lumberjack Ledge. It used to be at one point that was the standard play, but now some runners have taken the aspect, and it seems to become more accepted now that until you have the boots, there's no point worrying what's on the Lumberjack Ledge, so a lot of runners will not check it now. Some still like to check it. Some still like to check it like myself as a convenience thing so we know what's there.
Alright, both the runners picking up some bucks. ETM a little bit getting more bang than Frostbite there.
And Frostbite's going to get his bang right now. ETM will pick up the 50 as well, so they're tied in money now. Save the $2 extra that Frostbite picked up in escape.
At least where I live, that's not going to get you very far.
Yeah, not really.
Pick up one more bomb on ATM. Just, yep, I'll take that. And we got a little bit more diversion here. Or, yeah, words are hard.
A comment from GGG in the chat. He hopes those 2 rupees don't cost Eddie on the race. Anyway,
another 300, another little love.
Oh, nice, in the tavern.
It's a heart container.
A little divergence, but Etium will come to that eventually as he's in the well right now. Frostbite going backwards through this order through the chicken hut. Picking up... Actually, that's not the chicken hut. That's the bomb shot. That's the shot.
Oh, Master Sword. Red Potion. And blue boomerang.
Yep. Now we're going to get the chicken hut, and there is a chicken under the pot back there. Runners usually don't worry about it. Unless you're nice.
Save the chicken, 2K19.
Boots!
Oh, nice! That opens up a ton. What does the sick boy have?
Mirror!
Okay, this scene is being too nice to them. I'm hopefully suspicious.
Well, I was going to say the speed run can now begin as my usual joke, but then the mirror showed up. This seed is being very, very kind. I imagine there might be a medallion over at the race game at this point, given what kind of progress we're seeing. But I really hope that something is deadlocked, because it can't all be free like that, until it is. So now the question in chat is, do they go back to Lumberjack now? And the answer is... it might not be a bad idea, because as soon as they find the lamp, Aghanim is in logic. But I don't see the runners wanting to make a trip up there just for Lumberjack. They're going to try to wait until they get to the Dark World, then they can check Bumper Cave at the same time, because then they can mirror Lumberjack and check Lumberjack. So I think that might be what is more likely to happen at this point.
Blind's Hut is now apparently the Love Shack and the Stick Shack.
Love and Sticks.
Oh, it is the Love Shack. Confirmed.
Nice.
Yeah, Sundare in there in chat kind of has what I'm thinking. Which place bets on how quick goal mode's going on at this rate.
Yeah, the thought that Bo could be on pedestal, that could be the case. Eastern Palace is a crystal, so it could be on the pedestal.
Let's see what the library has for us today.
And we can get it off the ledge right away. We don't have to come back, and
It's
we're not going to waste
nothing.
time. Well, it's a piece of heart. That's not nothing, but still not worth the time.
At this rate, they've got plenty of hearts. Even without what I was saying earlier, the seed has been kind to them to the point where even I'm no expert by any means. I would be like, okay, I'm good.
That was the bug net on the race game, by the way. So it's unfortunate the runners have chosen not to pick that up. I mean, you need to use that against Aghanim, right?
Well, if you want to show them some swag, sure.
Oh, yeah, you got to. Comment in chat, still waiting for a seed with the bow and the GT big chest. We have been close to that. About a year ago, there was bow in tile room.
Sticks in the aqueduct.
I think I remember who was racing in that one, too.
And some chump change under the lake.
So we're going to walk by Gary. We may bring his chest back to him later if we feel like he deserves his lunch. So for right now, we're going to head over to Desert. We can't walk into Desert, but we can at least check the ledge, which is what he's doing. There's some money, and he's going to hop off the ledge right there. And
there we go.
Arena.
Nether glove, nether boomerang, some more sticks for good measure, a tempered sword, and another piece of heart.
Well, they got the sword they need to beat Ganon, so they're in pretty good shape. There must be one item in this seed that is so badly placed that the game was like, nope, I can't put anything else behind it. I'm putting these in free spots.
It's either up, and we got a little bit of a death there. Now, do you think that one was intentional?
No, that was an overworld death to a crab. No way that was intentional. You want to check Ice Rod Cave.
I'm still getting the hang on which is a purposeful death, or which you can at least pass off as a purposeful death.
Purposeful ones are usually in dungeons if they don't have the mirror, and sometimes even if they have the mirror, they might just want their health back. So now etium is going to do his mini Moldarm Cave. Frostbite, meanwhile, checking the King's Tomb, having been foiled from Ice Rod Cave. Let's hope that Frostbite is proven to not miss the Ice Rod Cave item later.
Another little love. This seed has nothing but love and gifts for the runners today.
It's nice that the King gave a little bit of love for him. At the same time, that's a piece of the heart of his chest. Ugh. Hey, Monkbrox, we're not used to checking this early.
The single arrow.
Ooh.
I believe that's a validation?
No, we don't like to use the term validation anymore because some in the community have confused that to think they were disqualified or something like that from races. So I tend to not use that anymore. But some have referred to it as the Arrow of Destiny, and the reason is because you can just put that one in your pocket for later. It counts against your inventory, but put it in your pocket for later.
Was that the Ruby of Destiny then that etium just got?
No. But when you fire that final arrow, that's the one. That's technically the arrow that is rumored to defeat Ganon.
Got it.
And that was a heart container on the Lumberjack ledge, so we're not going to be getting 20 hearts today, unfortunately. Or 19 hearts, because we left a piece of heart at the library.
I'm seeing some fake flippers over there.
Yep, I was going to say the same thing. Fake flippers heading to Hobo. Will you check the island?
No, for us today.
I thought I might check the island, but he might be checking that in a different way. Frostbite is sequence breaking Death Mountain. This is a sequence break I can always get behind because there's a lot of items on Death Mountain, but it's important to remember that anything you pick up here is sequence broken. If you find the lamp up here, you know the flute is not available on Death Mountain if you need to get to Misery Myers. So you would know then not to look on Death Mountain for the flute.
Hobo's poor today.
That's
what did the old man have? Normal. I totally missed that.
It was a heart. I was going to say the hobo, it seems normal to be poor, unfortunately, for him.
The seed is nice to everybody but him and the old man, apparently.
And there's a big 20 on the island, which we're going to be completely ignoring.
Chat pointing out that etium is now ahead in rupee count, this time by 10.
And the waterfall didn't really have anything of worth. Neither did Inside Spectral Rock, but the hint says, I bet you expected help. Let me quote this the only proper way there is. I bet you expected help there, didn't you?
It was I.
The old man. The old man.
Oh, hey, look what King Zora has for us today.
I just want to point out, that is a vanilla flippers. So, everyone in chat, you know what to do here. And we normally don't do this for this kind of race. We're getting a check of the Dark World. I didn't catch it all, but I'm seeing pendants at Skull Woods, which I think was the green one. Palace of Darkness was a pendant, red pendant. And I saw a red crystal at Thieves Town. I missed where the last pendant was, so hopefully our tracker caught that.
Alright, E-Team's checking his King's Tomb.
Ice Palace was the last pendant according to chat. Thank you. Oh, look, we found the basement cage. That's the cape.
Seems kind of irresponsible just to leave clothing lying around like that, but who am I to judge?
Exactly.
A unique item is held with the fishy, says Frostbite's got his flippers hint.
So Frostbite is going to hope that there is no item up here against tower, because if there is, if there is not, let me say that again. He hopes there is an item up here that he needs to pick up in Tower of Hera. I say Gans Tower. He's hoping there's an item up here in Tower of Hera, because if there is not, he has to go to the basement. Chad is suggesting etium should be going to the Eastern Palace area. I would be inclined to agree at this point, because Frostbite's found some significant information, and he will go to Eastern Palace eventually. Look at that. We have 2 joke hints in Tower of Hera. Race ROMs don't have spoiler logs.
Now, correct me if I was wrong, but wasn't the race you were just judging, I think it was last night, it took forever to find the joke hints?
There's usually 3 or 4, but there are hint tiles that very often will not be checked. I think it's somewhere from 2 to 4 joke hints that can show up in the seeds. So if those joke hints end up on the 2, 3, 4 tiles that you rarely see, that's why you would rarely see the joke hints in some seeds. And sometimes it's the first 4 you check. It's just luck of the draw. So we're having our Moldorm fight right now, and Moldorm is a big fat worm, sorry I had to say it, that wanders around arena and tries to use its weight to push you around. So Frostbite is not pushed around, and he does succeed in destroying the worm, and acquires a map.
And of course, the crystal.
I did not catch if he found an item on the way up, so we're going to find a confirmation when we go to if he goes to the basement or not, whether there is an item down there or not. If he does not, it might be safe to assume there is not, unless he's gambling skipping it. And he is leaving, so it must have been another item. It was a piece of love, according to chat.
ETM getting his distinct lack of help over here.
Indeed.
Getting a nice easy bomb jump over.
So you were making a comment about bow on the pedestal. That is no longer the case, and this is being noted in the chat as well. Because Palace of Darkness is now a pendant bow.
Oh, we got a map check. Nice long one over there.
Oh, we had it earlier from Frostbite too. We got that already.
Alright, well just in case we need anything else or anything refreshed, there you go, chat.
So there's the heart container for etium on top of Spectacle Rock, up to a nice 8 hearts, both runners are.
Got some water walking on Frostbite's side, so it looks like he's gonna go check the hobo and get them flippers. No, wait, he already checked the hobo, didn't he?
He's not checking the hobo, he's checking Zora for the flippers.
Alright. Just got my things rearranged.
And Frostbite does know with the waterfall, he is going to water run, not water walk, water run, as you see.
He ain't got no time to walk.
Yeah, takes too long to walk. I did that earlier. Takes too long.
Okay. Go ahead.
By the way, that was a piece of heart on the Zora ledge for anyone who didn't see that earlier.
Got confused on where he was from the map. I'm like, haha, he is checking the hobo. No, wait, I'm incorrect.
Anyway, if Frostbite has acquired his vanilla flippers, he stares at the wall for a moment, and then or the rock formation for a moment, and then saves and quits. And Chad is already talking about what could be in the pedestal, on the pedestal rather.
I'm still hoping for something important, even if it's just hook shot.
Etium is bomb jumping to the big chest. That's where our piece of heart is. That was our second item. So we know that the basement, because the map at the key of it found, we know it's a compass. So it looks like the chat is doing the analysis on what could be on the pedestal here, like I was saying. The items they're looking at right now are... Yeah, for the rupee, that's right. It looks like they're looking at Cane of Samaria, Hookshot, and, well, money, arrows, stuff like that. Or the entrance medallions for the 2 dungeons.
We'll see if the sea continues to be nice to them.
Oh! Etium got bullied around. Moldarn, please.
You can't blame that on the seed.
Flute could also be suggested for the pedestal, or any kind of fetch quest leading to any of these items.
Right,
fetch quests are
we're heading to Eastern Palace.
And by the way, fetch quest pedestals are just the worst, because you have to make a gamble on them one way or the other. They're bad for races, which is why we love to see them.
Moon Pearl!
Well then, that escalated quickly.
How much bling is this man going to pick up? How quickly? We just don't know.
He did not venture into Eastern Palace. He knows he has to complete it anyway. He's hoping that he's not going to find something really silly like, you know, the bow in Eastern Palace. Why would that happen? That's vanilla.
I almost feel like there should be a rule with the logic. How many vanilla items can we even remotely allow per seed?
So, welcome to the Dark World, a much more bland-looking version of the original world. And we're on our way to Skull Woods, which is the first stop for Frostbite today, as Etium is about to get his Moon Pearl, and will probably be heading in this way and choosing from this or Thieves' Town himself.
Now, again, this is another thing I need you to correct me on. Normally, I've seen Mothula taken care of with Fire Rod, but you're able to basically take care of that with anything but the Butter Sword, right?
I think it does work with Butter Sword now, too, if I'm not mistaken. Like, the vanilla game, it did stop you from using the Butter Sword for some weird coding reason, which is, I don't understand.
It was something with the spikes. I think they said that they coded it on the spikes.
It was because of the spikes, but if you happen to actually pick up the Butter Sword before coming here, it meant that you couldn't use your sword on Mothula at all, I think is the way that I understand that to be. So the developers have fixed that, so you can use the Butter Sword on Mothula.
Okay.
So any weapon that does work on Mothula will obviously do the job. Fire Rod is probably the most flashy one, because you just stand back and go shwa, 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 over and over.
Got our big key for Skullwoods over there. Frostbite's End. And I think we're going to see another bomb jump over here for the big chest.
Here it is.
Meanwhile, chess game. Oh, we got our Canis and Maria.
I'm not going to go meme, but I'm just going to say it's gotta be Kane, as a certain commentator would say. So that takes that out of the pedestal options. At this point, we just need to have an obvious pedestal seed, because that's the only thing that will really probably get these runners at this point.
Give me a guess. If it wasn't a quote-unquote important item on pedestal, what would you think this can be completed in? We looking sub 1?
No, sub 1 is very, very unlikely. The fastest seed I've ever seen done, not with the spoiler log, like with no information on the spoiler log, was an hour, and it was sub hour 6. I don't remember what led to that, but it was really, really fast. And I think I know it was Andy versus Crystal Owen who was racing. Crystal Owen pulled off the sub 106 on that seed. Andy was not. I don't think he was too far behind. Like, it was a very, very generous, very free seed that they had that day. So, but I have seen some spoiler log races also go around that time myself, just because the seed. Like, I've seen the spoiler log race go an hour 15 once, just because it was such an awful placement that they had to go back and forth everywhere. So it was just so awful. It was like, okay, this is taking forever.
There's a couple extra bombs on that cave for them, on Frostbite's end. And he's already taken care of King's Tomb, so get the heck back to Dark World.
Hurry, back to the darkness. Let it consume you. And some blueberries in the brewery. I guess they're making some blueberry brew today. And Eddie, I'm not picking up the dwarf yet because he wants to check the race game. He'll probably come back for the, I should say, Jeremiah the Bullfrog very shortly thereafter.
Shovel game looks like.
That's what I meant, the digging game. Okay. Did I say? I meant digging game. I might have said race game. Yeah, I meant the digging game.
We got a red potion for the digging game, and we're visiting our friend the catfish.
I'm going to assume that dig underneath the merchant's foot counts as one of the digs, so that would be 6 digs for the red potion.
Turns out the catfish is feeling musical today because he had the flute.
I didn't know he played music. Like, I thought he was just a grumpy fish.
Everyone has their quirks. So we've got etium with his bullfrog buddy, making friends. And Frostbite, where are you heading, buddy?
Frostbite might be going to... Could he be going to the pyramid?
Not sure if he wants to do that early, but at least we'll see what the dwarves have for us today.
There's so many free items. If there's one item on the pyramid, that's
true.
Going to give you that much more. Might as well route it. Everything's
dwarves just have a little bit more of cash for us. So it looks like we are looking at the pyramid. Say hi to a fairy first. Pyramid just has a little love, it seems.
Yep. And etium, as I thought, I didn't see what the blacksmith had, but as I thought, etium did go to that chain, is doing the purple chest. And
I believe the blacksmiths just had a red rupee.
Okay. And that means that Gary is going to get his lunch today as soon as we do a little trek with it and carry it around for a while. Now, we don't have the shovel, so we're not going to be able to check the shovel spot. Etium almost missed the ledge there. That was very close. Piece of heart in Cave 45. Why do we call it Cave 45? Because there's a certain map out there by a certain person. I'll go ahead and I'll say the name for those who want to find that map. Ian Albert is the name. And the cave that item was in has number 45 on it on this guy's map. So that's why we call it Cave 45. It was the only cave that got that kind of treatment because we didn't have a good name for it, apparently.
Quick little recap. ETM just found that Stumpy had a little bit more love for him. Frostbite has entered Palace of Darkness.
And there's a key in the first chest of pods, so we're not locked out anyway.
Alright, let's see what Gary's lunch is today. What is he sharing with us? Hey, that's a medallion.
Ooh.
Blech, words.
I think he had some spicy Barbaroa burritos in there, you know?
Being a little dizzy.
Yeah.
Big key for Frostbite. And am I correct in etium setting up for Swamp Palace?
Yeah, it looks like he is, but he does not have the hook shot, so I'm surprised that he's doing this. He doesn't. This is a hammer gamble through and through. He's gambling that hammer is in there if he's doing this. That's what he's gambling on. He's gonna get the hint while he's here too.
Frostbite has his chest hint. Specialist to unlock. Well,
Some cash.
A unique item.
Some cash is in Ganon's tower! There, I helped!
I don't think our runners are going to be too interested in taking care of Ganon's wallet, unfortunately, for that hint.
I wouldn't either. So this will be the gamble. Does it pay off?
We got a lantern.
Wow! That's a logic closing bit right there, but that does not pay off in terms of a gamble. It does confirm that we we could have used that to get to Death Mountain if we made our way here. I don't think the Titan Pit was on Death Mountain. I think it was in Sasseral's Closet or Eastern Palace, somewhere.
I think it was the house and gosh, where was the other glove?
Yeah.
Right in the beginning, right?
Moon Pearl was in Sasseral's Closet. I forget where the second glove was, but the first one was right near the beginning. It was under Uncle.
Ruby, bombs, money, and a lot of love.
Tony, rate this hype cave for me.
I don't know. I'm always a fan of love, like I said, but I'm not a fan of this cave. I'm probably going to have to give it only a 2.
Now, the way I look at it, they have enough hearts as it is, and there was nothing really useful in there. I'm going to give it a -5.
Oof. Harsh.
No, there's nothing in there. Can't give any marks for that.
See, for me, if it was just money, that's getting the 1. If somehow... I'm trying to think what would be the worst rating, or what would warrant the worst rating I could ever give.
-10 would probably be a single rupee, a 3-pack of bombs.
Shovel on Frostbite's end really quick.
A small piece of heart, and a fetch quest that leads to nothing useful.
I'd accept that. Either that, or all rupees and 1 arrow. Just to mix it up. It's like playing It's Not Unusual.
One of these things is not like the others.
Frostbite going around the basement in the dark, which etium will not have to worry about. Okay. We've got chat giving their own worst hype cave ideas.
Yeah, we've spawned something here unintentionally, which is what usually happens when we have a chat with us. What if Hype Cave had 5
Go ahead.
What if Hype Cave had 5 Harkaters and the seed was unhealthy?
Okay, in that case, who is that? Daniel, Oberon. I would be happy to see that Hype Cave. Because again, I am the person who likes having a decent amount of health.
So Eddie, I'm making the play into Palace Darkness right now, and I wasn't really paying attention a lot to Frostbite's side, so...
I only saw him get the shovel, so...
Yeah, I haven't seen anything beyond the shovel, though. I didn't see every single item, but I didn't see anything useful except for that shovel, as you mentioned. And we don't have anything else tracked there, so it looks like it wasn't a very good play.
Hey, Cyclone.
Yes?
Would you say they can dig that palace?
Wah, wah, wow. As Frostbite plays the Song of the People and unlocks Wag Duck Airlines, we'll get to hear it on Etium's side in a moment when he gets to the village with his flute. But I have to go to the catfish before we can do that, obviously.
Yeah. Plenty of salutes for the dog is a muck, the goose is loose. What other rhymes do we have for this?
The swan is gone.
The fowl is now. Is that close enough?
The loon was swooned.
There's an obvious one, but even I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Thankfully, chat has my back. Ooh, Quack is whack. I like that one.
Yeah, I've used the Quack as back before.
I'm just waiting for the moment.
Oh, we're getting a potion glitch on Etium's side. Palace of Darkness potion glitch. It confuses the game into thinking the enemies are dead, and it opens the door and lets you move on, even though they're still in the room. Very well-coded game for 1991 or 1992.
They're always going to have their flaws. I mean, even modern ones, I seem to feel like they have even more glitches.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Code.
That's why they release patch updates every 2 days.
Exactly.
Thank you for purchasing our game. Please update. Why did you not get it right?
Alright, Frostbite just finished his shovel game. Got his Gatorade. And etium's still pushing in, so if nothing else, if somehow we did miss an item, which I don't think we did, we'll at least get some double checks with this guy.
I just saw 2 new Swag Duck lines in chat. I'm going to have to steal one of those when we get it on Etium's side.
What is etium? Oh, okay, he's timing stuff. Frostbite's turning in his Smith buddy and gonna get his chest. And like I said, etium's having a lot easier time with his lantern.
Yes, makes us a lot easier to go through without question. You were right, it was 20 rupees on the dwarf, by the way.
Alright. Sometimes I'll forget something for 5 seconds ago, sometimes I'll remember it for 5 years. Who knows? What's it gonna be today?
Now, oh yeah, the riders don't have the powder yet, so we're not going to worry about that yet. By the way, that was a 10-bomb pack in Eastern Palace. That is what we like to call Uncle Bombs, because during standard mode, he could give you that 10-pack of bombs as one of his items.
Another key.
And Frostbite gets his spicy lunch to Gary.
Now, I don't think we've checked yet what Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are going to need.
No, we have not.
So it is still possible we could have a pedestal seat if one of those medallions are locked behind. I'm not giving up hope, chat. My dreams will stay alive.
I have seen that before, too. So that is something that would be very dearly wished for by chat right now. We also have the Pyramid Fairy possible because let me try that again. Thieves Town is available very early in the game, so Pyramid Fairy is immediately in play, and I'm surprised no one has cleared Thieves Town yet knowing that. Speaking of that, Frostbite is on the way to Thieves Town right now.
Speak of the devil, and there he go. Got his compass.
We are getting the Eastern Palace play as well. I do not believe Frostbite has done this yet. So I did say let's hope for that he didn't abandon something really silly and funny like, you know, Bow and Eastern Palace.
Frostbite did get the big key. That's not a bow.
That's Etium's big key. So there you go. There's a hint that the big chest can now be opened. Not really a hint, but...
It's your pointer.
Yep.
It's always interesting to me because each seed has some sort of logic. And it's a matter of which steps are you willing to skip? What are you willing to risk is nothing. Oh,
well,
got our hammer.
That'll help in Palace of Darkness.
For Frostbite. The boots is with the chickens. Oh, thanks.
The guaranteed boots hint for all of these seeds is right there. The boots is with the chickens.
It's a big old bottle.
The bottle is with the big chest.
The boots are with the birds. The bottles with the big chest.
And we're getting the puns in chat already. The chicken is quickened.
Keep it going, guys. And now I'm trying to think, what rhymes with poultry?
I can think of one, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh, that's fair. For those who missed it, Frostbite went to a dig spot, one of the dig spots rather, found some money. So if he didn't like a spicy lunch, he can buy something new.
Mm-hmm. Etium abandons Eastern Palace knowing he cannot get to the Armor's Knights, even through a sequence break. Question, where was Flute? I believe it was on Catfish.
Yes,
Catfish
we made the joke about the musical Catfish.
Exactly. Catfish was playing Under the Sea on it or something like that.
And for the record, that's half the reason I make my bad jokes, so I remember things. Meanwhile, Frostbite is trying Hype Cave, gonna find his little bit of love, but not much, well, big love, but not much else. Now they're digging up money on Etium's end.
Yep, he finds his -5 Hype Cave.
Now I'm curious, is there a hype cave that could be so horrible it somehow loops back around into positive?
Huh?
I know, it doesn't make any sense, but I always like the ones that are so bad they're good, but it's like, what would even remotely do that? Some item you think is useless, and then it turns out to be the one you need to get into go mode.
Oh, that'd be like a shovel or a mushroom or something like that.
There you go.
You know, fetch quest.
Chat, in case it wasn't obvious, I am a little new to this, but I am happy to learn with you guys. And Cyclone. And Cyclone's cousin Tornado from last night when he got rid of the other commentator.
You saw that, huh?
You have no idea how, because I was tracking that race, you have no idea how hard it was for me not to come into commentary and make a joke about that.
Well, thank you for not doing that.
Figured I'd want to make a bad impression in other routes.
Well, I guess sometimes there are times when you're tracking, you like, want to say something or point out something, but obviously that's not your job. You have to find a different way to point it out.
You have to focus on it.
The Swamp Palace Big Key and a compass. Very useful information for the Swamp Palace West Wing, so we're not going to be going there today. Unless the big chest has something, then they might need to go back later.
Big key for the desert. And again, if anyone missed it, only a map was on that pedestal for Frostbite, so no boots required. But he does get a small key in the big chest. And it looks like there's not much in the red bomb. Heart container and a heart container.
And I was typing a response to someone in chat. What was the hint?
The hint was that a heart container and a heart container require the big red bomb.
So, a heart container needed it. So anyway, Etium has blown a hole in the Sunshine Room and picked up the cane of Burna. Which, by the way, is a very lovely item to use against blind, just because, you know, it's fun to use against blind. He never sees it coming.
You're getting into my quality jokes. You gotta be careful.
I used that one last race, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair. Wake for Meyer, based on what chat's telling us. It looks like the trackers confirmed it.
Yep.
And this is always the problem with making bad jokes, they distract you.
Well, it's not so much they distract you, it's just a matter if you're looking at one stream, you don't see what's happening on the other.
Very true. Alright, we're gonna go free the blind girl. Oh, hey, was that Ether?
That was Ether. And we had a piece of heart in Checkerboard Cave as well. And here's our hammer chest. We need the hammer to do this. So, hey, we have that.
A blue
Have some
mail.
mail. That, by the way, is vanilla blue mail. I think.
So that's 2 vanillas in here.
Unless, no, maybe I'm wrong. No, that's in Ice Palace. Sorry. That's in Ice Palace. No,
Okay.
vanilla is Titan's Mint. Never mind. I got it wrong.
They're both pieces of clothing.
I caught myself before chat started correcting me. So, yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. So now we're going to get our blind pun of the day. And today, Blind says to us,
Gardeners like to spring into action. Yeah.
I have no words.
Me neither.
I love them, but at the same time.
Yeah, some of them are just so bad.
Frostbite is heading over into Dark World Village of Outcast. Oh, and he got a second change of clothing from Blind on etium side.
Wow, we know where the shirts were located. This is the Blind clothing store.
And it looks like Frostbite's going in to be fashionable as well.
Yep, you gotta love shopping at Blind's clothing store. All free and no hassles.
You have to see the deals to believe them?
Pretty much. Frostbite does not have the hammer, though, as being pointed out, so he cannot get one of the mail upgrades. He'll have to go without that blue,
well, at least he'll get one.
Without the red mail. Yeah, he'll get one of them from Blind.
Pretty good demonstration of the progression, so you can find anything in any order, it's still going to be the next item up.
That's correct. And Frostbite is about to get his useful or not hint.
If nothing else, it lets them know they can avoid it. That's how you always have to look at it when you're doing this, or if you're taking it remotely seriously.
I guess in this case it is a useful hint because he hasn't been there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually, by the way, a well-timed hint, because I want to point out again, it just came to my mind, Thieves Town is crystal number 5, and that is one of the 2 crystals you need for that. So that actually is a well-timed hint, because that might have been the next place he was going.
And the other one was in Tower of Hera, right?
Which they have,
what
yeah.
I'm seeing on the tracker?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that very good timing then. I didn't even think of that.
So that was a rare case where that hit was actually very useful.
Etium getting his Skull Woods compass. Yeah, chat having a little bit of talking. If I had to guess, I don't think either runner would have much problem killing Ganon, whatever they're dressed in. It's just a matter of, sometimes it's nice to have the defense, just in case for whatever reason you just can't get the inputs in right. Or like I said, if you're like me.
Or if you're like me.
So we're about to get a peek at the Skullwoods big chest. Did Frostbite already grab that one?
It doesn't matter, it's a key.
Yeah. He's picking up his ether on Frostbite's end as well.
Noticing we know the fire rods, we still can't complete Skullwoods. You know how you said there was that one item that you were hoping they didn't find and was on the pedestal?
Fingers crossed.
Bombos is the access to Ice Palace, so it's possible, I think. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, Skullwoods needs the fire rod. Disregard what I just said.
I mean, I know you can use Bombos on a cold stare to get him out of his shell, but you can't pull that, whatever it's called, that spine to get into...
Yeah, you can't use the lantern on that. You have to use the fire rod. Now, if you could use the lantern, then yeah, fire rod would still be on the pedestal, but you have to use the fire rod for that, unfortunately.
So Plague Knight here is looking a little even more plaguey than normal on Frostbite's end.
Something's plaguing him.
Speaking of sprites, so we've got hit. Frostbite is Plague Knight. Is ATM any animal in specific?
I want to say that's something from Animal Crossing. I want to say Bo, because I know Bo is one of the sprite options. I think it's something
I
from
know Animal Crossing. It could be that it's just the style difference that's not giving me any cues.
I might be wrong, but I think it is Bo. I think actually seen that one before. Chat can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm actually curious if I'm wrong.
All right, we finally got Frostbite on Ice Check or Ice Cave.
How much do you think he's gonna like coming back for the single rupee?
Probably as much as he liked Hype Cave.
Well, no rage reaction or anything, so. Etium is heading to Catfish. He is going to be able to soon play Under the Sea and other wonderful melodies.
And then we could see if ducks truly fly together. Frostbite is heading into Ice Palace. So it looks like he's going to take the risk on using bombos for Cold Stare. And these other... What are these ones called?
Sorry?
What do... on Frostbite's screen, do those enemies have a name?
They do, and I'm just trying to think off the top of my head right now what it is.
I mean, I'm sure they have a name, but...
Freezar, that's the name.
Thank you, chat.
Yeah, I had to think about it myself, but yeah, I know that one myself. So, Etium is going to go and operate Swag Duck Airlines opening melody. Let's enjoy.
Get those salutes in chat. Meanwhile, Frostbite has picked up some reading material over in Ice Palace.
So, Etium has now completed the duck summoning anthem, and to quote Daniel Boron in chat, the Drake is awake.
I don't know, I'm having to go with Surger at this point with the Mallard Sings a Ballad.
But anyway, Swag Duck Air is now open for business. Call 555 Duck for all your transportation needs. Disclaimer: does not work in Nebraska. Only works in the High Rule, and also avoiding Quebec. And number is not real. Please do not call.
What's our hint for today? Oh, you know, I kind of could use a nice cup of tea right now.
I'll bet a nice cup of tea would help.
The Gway is away. That's a pretty clever one.
Ooh.
Bombs and 5 rupees for etium, while Frostbite just patiently outweighs that swinging balls of death. Wait, etium, didn't you already check the ledge? Okay, he's not.
He's not checking the ledge. He's checking Desert Palace.
Yeah.
He I think he can complete. Yeah, he can complete with the lamp. So why not?
I was gonna say, this is one of the earlier dungeons. You don't even remotely, or not remotely close to Fire Rod. You should be able to complete it without.
We've had a hook shot on Landmore request. Chat, don't you want it on the pedestal?
Oh, that's right. Frostbite didn't have his lantern.
Oh wait, I see why this particular person does not want it on the pedestal. He wants that team to find it right now to get a lead. It is his teammate. In that case, duly noted. I have a question, chat. Have we found our 2 loose yet? I think he's talking about a Final Fantasy randomizer thing, 2 loose items in Final Fantasy randomizer, but obviously that's a different seed entirely, and we're not playing that way. Everything is loose.
No, that cape was pretty loose.
It was pretty loose, yeah.
Frostbite did pick up the big key for Ice Palace.
Ether was in Thieves Town for those who are asking in chat as well. So Thieves Town did have the Ether. I think it was someone saying Blind Cell. I think it was Blind Cell actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Sunshine Room had the key in Burna.
And they also and E-Team picked up both of his fashion chains and chains in there. While Frostbite only got one of them.
All the dungeon items were in the front. All the good items were in the back, and it was both T-shirts, the Ether coin, and the cane.
And Frostbite showing a little disappointment back there for only getting a small key in the big chest.
What a waste of all that effort. So, time to take on the other version of... Well, these are actually snakes, I guess. It's time to take on the snakes.
Sandworms, whatever.
Worms are worms.
I've always thought they look more like caterpillars, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. Couldn't see those ones turning into butterflies, though. Oh, wait a minute. Is
Hey,
Mothula a cousin of Landmolus?
I think we've cracked the code.
Cracked it, yeah.
etium only getting a compass for his trouble, but he also gets his crystal, so he's one step closer to finishing up what he needs to do. We have found out that some cash is held by the Karikaro village elder. Thanks for that.
Hey, get my prized possession. I'll pay you for it.
Now you can keep it.
Frostbite using the trick with the bomb jump, instead of using the hook shot over
Nicely
there.
done. Yeah, he doesn't have the hook shot, so once you walk in there, you're locked in.
At least until you save and quit. So we'll see if his gamble pays off.
Big Chest had a key in Desert Palace, so now he's going to the right side.
Keys right after the other.
Yeah, so etium's heading to the right. etium's heading to the right side right now.
I keep talking over you. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. It happens. I do it too sometimes.
No, it's... Okay, no, he's heading for the warp. I thought for a second he was heading to Swamp Palace. I'm like, wait a minute. Or is he changing his mind? What is he doing?
Now, etium did pick up the fluid. I don't think we have it marked on his tracker yet.
Oh, okay. I just couldn't hear the...
And, yeah, by the way, just, actually, hold on a second. Gotta get that chat sign called out. Just a quick shout out to Ursula, who is doing our tracking today. Obviously, sometimes the buttons inputs do get mashed, so we'll note things like that just to make sure we are on the same page here, make sure we do have everything right there, obviously.
etium did check. Was that Checkerboard Cave?
Yeah, Checkerboard Cave, we know at a piece of heart. Frostbite checked it earlier.
Confirming it.
Oh, I didn't even notice where the Book of Medora came from. Where was that?
Book of Medora was an ice palace. He picked up some reading material in there. I just can't remember what etium was doing at the time.
So, here comes the tablet check. Could this be our hook shot, or is this going to be something useful like a bag of powder?
Place your early bets, chat.
And praying to the gods and torching a bat.
That's a
bat
vulture.
Wings. Vulture wings. Very big bird, though. I have to admit those wings are probably very tasty.
Quick, chat. Get a rhyme for vulture.
Culture.
The vulture is cultured.
There you go.
And etium is doing his own culture in Spiral Cave. It is so nice when you have the boots and you can check this, as opposed to searching for the boots and having to check this.
Quake. All coins located. So we're going to find out anyway, but we don't really care what Turtle Rock is anymore, because they can go in.
Well, one of them can go in. Frostbite still needs to find his, but...
Yeah, once he finds Quake, but it's on Death Mountain, so it's along the way.
Exactly.
And Frostbite getting his financial hint.
Now, am I mistaken, or is etium heading to Paradox, or did we already check that one? I don't think we checked that one yet.
No, I don't think we have. So he's going to get this right now. We're going to see what is there. First two chests at the bottom.
Frostbite's got his lantern.
Oh, look at that. The first 2 chests are all bombs.
This is a blueberry-rich seed.
At least whoever lives here is baking. Baking.
I'm always partial to blueberry bagels. What about you?
Nah, apple pie or apple crumble is really tasty, but I tend to like anything with chocolate.
That's fair.
Hey,
Little
more
love,
blueberries.
lot of love, more blueberries. Come on, Paradox, don't do us like this.
Sticks.
It did it.
It did it.
So it does look like we reached the part of the seed that I like, where it's like, where is that item I need? Because you've got most of the obvious ones. There's still obviously a good few left on the list, but you're starting to narrow down and get a little frustrated.
So we're going to make our way to the top of what we call Super Bunny Cave right now, then make our way back down what we call Super Bunny Cave right now. Because down in that area in the bottom, down the area of that bottom, there are 2 checks. I think you need a tablet check. That was just a piece of heart.
Yeah. So both pedestals are... Oh, there's some frustration.
Yeah, both tablets have been checked. Nothing useful on them. We found another heart container and more fruits. And etium is slowly, or quickly, whatever you want to refer to it, makes its way out. What is Frostbite going to... No, why is he going here?
I don't think he knows himself.
There's no way he was going to Aghanim. No way.
Alright, ETM doing the bonking strats to get past hook shots. But unfortunately, all he's going to get for his troubles is 300 rupees.
Hey, it helps. College fund.
Turtle Rock is confirmed to Ether. Which I think ETM is going to try and hope to find a fire rod within.
That means very nicely that all 3... Now, we don't know if bombos was actually required yet, but based on what we've seen so far, that means all 3 coins are getting some use today.
Which I suppose is nice. If you picked it up, you may as well find some sort of use for it. There's nothing like a seed where you only need one of the medallions because only one of them had the... Only both dungeons had the same medallion.
The magic mirror requires a bottle. Thanks, game! Say.
Little small key here in the spiky area.
Now we do have to find at least 1 in these first 3 chests. I think it might even be 2 in these first 3 chests, but I think you can get away with 1 if I'm not mistaken, because you can find 1 in Chain Chomp Room then. We can't do the Fire Rod lock side yet. So Etium is going to hope that he finds a key up here so he can move on. If he doesn't find a key, he knows he's in the wrong place. Chompy takes a bite, and unfortunately he's going to have to do this part of it again. There it goes.
I think at this point he'd just be happy with a progression item. Chat was mentioning bow, hook shot.
Well, further down the rabbit hole we go.
Frostbite is out of the Palace of Darkness. Heading back to Death Mountain. Actually, wait, did I name that wrong? Was he on Eastern Palace?
Sorry?
He was in Eastern Palace, not Palace of Darkness. I mixed up which world he was in.
Okay, yeah, that's easy to do. I get them mixed up sometimes.
Though it's fine, he's heading right for Dark World, so... Oh my god, look at Etium's sprite.
Well, we have a Lava Island Big Key. That's vanilla.
So that makes 2 vanilla items, because the male was not. Or at least 2 vanilla bigger items.
Should we know that a lot of heart pieces could also potentially be vanilla or money too?
I'm not counting those.
Yeah. So we're going to be able to get past these pokies. The more time he spends here, the more time he thinks that there's something useful in here.
Frostbite is touring Spiral Cave, which did have Quake, so that's his own medallion roundup.
Yep. So now he might be thinking about Turtle Rock as well. Which again, there's a lot of dungeons we still haven't finished. We still have Eastern Palace, which we obviously can't finish. We have Swamp Palace, which we obviously can't finish. We have Skull Woods, which we obviously can't finish. You're sensing a theme here, I'm sure. Misery Mire, which we could finish, I think.
Etium's peeking in Mimic Cave, and he gets a little bit of bling for his troubles. But Frostbite is going to make his own check of Paradox. Probably be about as disappointed.
Just getting confirmation from chat as well, and just for those who missed it earlier, the hammer was in that Eastern Palace anti-fairy chest. That's where we got our pounding power today, according to chat. I thought it was an earlier chest, though, that we saw it in.
I know it was in Eastern Palace. That much I can remember. Specific chests, not so much.
I thought it was the third chest we opened, but maybe I'm wrong.
Remember what I said about me having a 5-minute memory?
I only have vote 2.
That's okay, that's what chat's for.
Exactly. Laser bridge is confirmed to be inaccessible at this time. So Frostbite, if he goes into Turtle Rock, is going to do the exact same thing. We know the runners will not have lost any time on each other. Etium,
picking up some potions, I think.
Yep, he's going shopping.
He's got the money for it.
He wants some juice. He wants some Kool-Aid. Which brings us to the customary, oh yeah!
That one's got to be blueberry flavored, though, with how the seed's been going.
Oh yeah, of course, blueberry Kool-Aid.
And yeah, Etium does look like he's going for the mire.
At this point, it's the only thing left dungeon-wise that they can do. So if it's not in mire, what's left?
I mean, he hasn't done Ice Cave, I don't think, so he doesn't know it's empty.
Ice Palace, you mean?
Yes, thank you.
But at this point, there's
just a bigger cave.
At this point, there's 2 items in here. I think it can be completed. So the odds are this is where something is.
And I think Frostbite is right behind him.
Question, has Etium done the non-hookshot part of Swamp? Yes, he has. It was not a useful item.
I believe both our runners have done that part.
Let me take that back. He did the first part of Swamp, but he didn't have the hammer. That's what I meant to say.
Frostbite takes in his steps in, so it looks like it's just a matter of racing to see if there's anything actually useful in here.
I think both runners have come to the same conclusion that this is where the progression is. So everyone in chat, get your guesses out. Are we going to find the bow? Are we going to find the hook shot? Are we going to find the fire rod? Or are we going to find something trolly like a mushroom or a bag of powder to lead us, or something else to lead us around the world looking for something else?
Mushroom, mushroom. Hey, that's a bow!
There it is. You didn't have a lot of time, chat, so we just found it. That's their bow. There could be a second one in here, though, so don't rule out the rest of this dungeon yet.
And Etium is not mirroring, so it's very possible he may find something else.
He doesn't want to take any chances leaving this behind, because there's only one item location at the Armos Knights. And obviously we could still have Pummelstar King have something too, you never know. So we may end up having to complete that. Plus the pedestal could still be in place, so we may have to do Pummelstar King.
And this is a crystal from what I'm seeing on the tracker, so if he can finish it, he may as well while he's here.
Indeed.
Frostbite's picking up his bow. Got the big key.
Big key. So now we're going to go down and move a wall. And no, we're not. He's not going to move a wall. He's going to gamble the other item is not behind the wall. Or did we see the second item already? I just missed it.
The only one I really paid attention to was the bow.
Only one I saw, yeah. Oh yeah, did we get a mire hint? Or was it just a swamp hint that we got?
I'm searching my memory, but I'm not finding anything.
I know we got a swamp hint. I don't think we got a mire hint.
Alright, so that was the map. So what's in this guy? It's a mushroom.
There's your second item. That could be something too. So now we just... Go ahead.
I was going to say, you don't want to rule anything out at this point because Turtle Rock is a crystal. You're going to need that fire rod.
So we're going to make our way to the back of this dungeon as quickly as we can now. Frostbite is going to find nothing useful in the chest below. I think it's a key at this point in the chest below. So he's going to warp his way out, and he will lose some time here on Etium, who did not do this check. If this was the item, this would be a good gamble on his part, and bad one for Etium. Frostbite gets to hint there's a unique item in Ice Palace. You don't say.
For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. What was an Ice Palace? It was the book. Okay, I'm even the one who brought that up earlier. Okay, thank you, chat. I feel like I need a tracker for myself now.
I might have to hire a second tracker just to track the commentator.
I'm just gonna have my own personal assistant. It's fine, I'll share. Other people can use it too.
Sometimes I can use a tracker too, I get it. Anyway, Etium is now in the eyeball fight, and this is going to be the quickest eyeball fight you've ever seen. Until you see the next one.
Until you see 2 arrows miss.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't as quick. Okay, sorry, I lied. Apologies.
And it looks like he was just holding a compass and the crystal.
Yeah. The thing that's really annoying is having to dig that compass out of the eyeball milkshake that you just created.
Ugh. Why would you say that and give me that image?
And as I say that, I realize that on the West Coast, people are probably eating dinner. I apologize.
Alright, so ETM has... he did just finish Swamp Palace, so he has Turtle Rock and Eastern Palace left. The latter of which he can definitely do, the former of which he still needs that rod.
Well, I still want to know what's on the pedestal, and only Frostbite has the ability to check that. Thing is, if the fire rod is what's on the pedestal, we're never going to get that pedestal check because we have no reason to go to Skull Woods without the fire rod, so... it may be a case where we last location the fire rod on the pedestal or something like that. Oh no, that can't be. No, wait, no, we still need it for Skull Woods. I keep doing that.
Yeah, you gotta get in there.
I keep doing that. Well, the point stands.
I can mix up palace names. You can mix up boss requirements.
The point stands that we may end up last locationing the item on the pedestal, but at the same time. That just brought up another thing in my mind, which does sometimes bring up good things. Because Skullwoods is a pendant, this is a good way to know if you end up finishing Ice Palace, which these runners did not. But they can go up to Skullwoods once they have the fire rod. They can check the pedestal. Of course, Itzy needs the book out of Ice Palace first. They can check the pedestal. They can find out whether there is something they need on the pedestal. Then they can go back and decide, okay, I want to do Skullwoods, or no, I don't want to do Skullwoods.
That's convoluted, and I love it.
I've seen runners do it.
Frostbite, for the record, missed 1 shot but got bonked once by the eye, so I am not sure if that was actually a quicker fight.
Bonk.
I love that word, I'm sorry.
I like the sound effect. So Etium will be the first to check out what the Armos Knights are holding today. Besides a lot of very heavy swords and shields, which are very ineffective.
Oh, and I beg your pardon. That was not Swamp Palace that ETM did. That was Misery Mire. My bad.
I just realized I love how you can just fire a silver arrow right into their shield and it cracks them. That was your hook shot, by the way.
I completely missed that one fast.
I had to look at it again against where it was in the wall, but it was the hook shot. So let's just see here. Fire Rod cannot be passed on, but is needed for Turtle Rock. So since it can't be pedestal, we know that pedestal is there for. Wah, wah, wah.
My dreams are now officially dead. But it looks like Fire Rod is the last needed for Go mode?
I think so, yes. So if you're looking for a pedestal seed, I apologize if you no longer want to stay because we no longer have that. Please, we'll see you next time when we hopefully will have a pedestal seed for you. For those of you who do stay, we are going to finish this race because, you know, races are good.
Alright, ETM looks like he's going to go ahead and drain the lake again and finish off Swamp Palace. For real this time.
Question in chat, how much should we find in Pod, as in Palace of Darkness? Well, really nothing, because the shovel didn't lead to anything useful, and there was nothing else there.
Let's see if Swamp has any other treasures for us tonight.
The search is on.
Now, if we had Fire Rod in here, that would basically be perfect timing, because then just go right to Turtle Rock and go right to the Ganon.
Given how much has been checked, Fire Rod almost makes sense that it would be in here at this point. Of course, it could be sitting on Cold Stare for all we know. We don't know that.
It's somewhere out there, just waiting.
Mm-hmm. So Etium did just recently clear Eastern Palace. We'll get that updated in a second here. Frostbite is working his way through Eastern Palace meanwhile.
Refresh my memory, what was keeping Frostbite from completing Desert Palace? Or did he actually do that because it's not on the tracker?
He did not have a fire source, I think, at the time, did he?
I think that was right, yeah. But now he's at the Lantern, so he's going to have to go back and finish that off.
He will. And I say fire source because you can do it with a fire rod as well. It does not have to be the
There
laser
it is!
as long as you... There's your fire source. Or a fire source. At 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 50 seconds, Etium is in go mode.
At this point, yeah, not caring much about getting through this fast, getting to Turtle Rock. Everything else is minimal.
Now, there is a nice-to-have item out there in the gold sword, but that's something that won't do too much in terms of improvements. It might improve the Gan fights a little bit, but other than that, it's not going to do very much, so no point picking it up if he doesn't come across it himself looking for keys or something else, like in Gan's Tower.
If nothing else, you can use the butter to help cook your blueberry pie.
It also slices the bacon very, very nicely.
Now they'll just have to use the bacon blade.
Yeah, the bacon blade will have to do. Sharp
Although
enough.
I've heard it referred to as the carrot, which I found entertaining.
Yeah, I can see why you would say the carrot, but the carrot isn't really sharp. I mean, bacon at least is hot.
Frostbite finishing up Eastern Palace.
Yeah, back to my theory, the bacon blade is hot, and that's why do you think it glows red? It's burning hot. It's ready to slice bacon.
And if nothing else, even though we don't have the butter knife, we have the silver arrows. So even that's going to make Ganon a lot easier than having to do without those.
Indeed. So now that etium is in go mode and has finished off the Argus fish and
I
chips
was
buffet.
waiting for that.
I know, I do that too much, don't I?
Yeah. I think you said it about 5 times last night.
Yeah, something like that. And you know, it's seafood's so good at each you. So etium has acquired the Swamp Palace crystal and is one away, and that one away is Turtle Rock.
Frostbite is looking like he's going for Swamp Palace and will get his rod in the process, but still will have Desert Palace to finish. So he's got a lot of catching up to do. He's either got to hope that etium makes some mistakes or that he just gets lucky somehow.
Yeah, it would take a really bad left-right play at this point, plus a couple other things going wrong because there is he does have a significant lead. It should be noted again that this is for those tuning in late. We're an hour 20 minutes into this race, but I'll give you a little background here again. This is the Titans Mitts versus the Fendrana Drifters, a Link to the Past Randomizer League playoff action going on right now, week 1 of the playoffs, and with that, this is the second game in the series. The first game of the series pitted SAGTG versus Jet 082, or Jet, as we just call him. Jet took that race for the Fendrana Drifters, and as a result, they are up 1-0 in the playoff series. So if etium holds on for the win here and gets the win, that will tie the series up. It will force a Game 4 in the series. And at that point, the teams will have to pick 2 runners from their teams to face each other in that Game 4. And if that, in turn, forces a Game 5, makes it a 2-2 series, then they have to pick 2 different players and pick out a Game 5 in the series. So right now it is going to be 1-0 for Fendrana Drifters. etium is trying to tie it up, make it 1-1.
And at least that setup you mentioned, make sure that you're not just relying on one runner. No, you need an entire team that knows what they're doing.
Correct.
Completely ignoring that hint. I'm not sure if we actually got it. No, I think we did get it before, so never mind. We don't need that hint anyway. Frostbite does have his rod, doing his thing with ignoring the chest. He is also in go mode. And etium is not going to have to worry about health at all for the rest of the seed. He's got, I think, 2 potions, so even if worst case scenario he did get hit a bunch, he can just drink back up.
Mm-hmm. And there's that key he was missing for the final segment of Laser Bridge. And I'm taking the magic refill.
I have to say, even with etium several minutes ahead at this point, this has been a really good race by both runners. For a while, I was convinced Frostbite was going to take it.
And some of these races do turn out that way. It turns out to be like a back and forth. Either runner can still win the situation based on what a certain runner finds at a certain time. It just gives them an edge.
Exactly.
Until that other runner finds something else that just gives them an even better edge. And then everything else falls into place. And they each end up solving the puzzle in their own way. But by that point, one runner has set things up just a little bit better and ends up pulling out the win.
etium looks like he went down the wrong tunnel there.
Oops. Muscle memory is a fickle thing.
Mm-hmm. Frostbite cleaning up Swamp Palace. And may I give it a try?
Please.
Given his try to finishing up Argus. That was my best Cyclone impression. I hope I did you justice. Alright, Frostbite is choosing to do Desert Palace. No, wait.
etium is following you in the pit repeatedly.
Well, that's a little bit of gain, but not sure if that's going to help. Okay, Frostbite is doing Desert Palace. He's just doing the mirror strats on it.
Okay, he's through the dark room, I guess you can refer to it as. I'm surprised that the fire bars don't actually light up that room more. That's surprising.
I guess etium is looking for a little bit more treasure.
No, I think he needs a key. He needs a key here.
Okay.
And now he's out of here. He's done.
All right. That was easy.
We're having some discussion over the big key guessing game, and
Is that going to start right after Trinex?
Chat theory is related to that. Yes, it's going to be starting right after Trinex. We'll be running command chat, but just to prep everyone who is watching live, and those on YouTube will not see this, obviously. But we play a little game in our chat. If you are a supporter of Speed Gaming, as in either you donate 250 bits or more, or are an active subscriber, you are eligible for our big key guessing game, which will get you big money, big prizes. No, actually, no, that's the wrong script. Sorry.
It will get you a troll hint on the next seed.
Yeah. So etium is having trouble with the ice head and has a little bit of ice on the floor to contend with now, but he's going to stay on the left side, and that won't be a problem for him anymore.
Frostbite has finished up Desert Palace, so he's going to be going ahead and making his flight to Turtle Rock to try and catch up, but he's got a lot to do, because etium just finished off Trinex.
Yep, and with that, we have to start our game. So, everyone start getting your numbers in chat. 122, where do you think the big key is? Tony, where do you think that big key is today?
Just really quick, etium finally picked up a shield. Back to the game. I'm gonna go. You can probably tell I'm a bit of a troll by now. I always go for number 1, just like it looks like someone else in chat did. So my hopes are with him or them.
You like seeing it right away, just to make things easy. I do it to myself, but I can contractually obligate myself to say it is always 11 because, well, always. It does happen sometimes too.
I think it happened last night.
Yeah, and of course that was the community race, and we didn't have the ability to count the big key guessing game for anything.
We'll see if it makes up for it on this one.
Yeah. I need redemption.
We've got a couple specific hints. That should be interesting.
We know there's some cash in Gans Tower.
Do you think that's actually the prize?
Like I said, big money, big prizes. Anyway, guessing is now closed, and good luck.
It is not number 1.
And this is where I get to say, you lose. Good day, sir.
Frostbite is just now entering Turtle Rock. Godspeed, man.
Needs to go very quickly to catch up.
Chest number 2, small key. Chest number 3, red rupee.
Money. Hey, see, there was money against Tower right there.
That's a lot of money. Chest number 4, 50 rupees. Chest number 5, small key.
So the hint tile was correct. Now we can continue. Oh, Dark Magician strats. Oh, I love it.
And as I recall, that comes from, there was a guy who went by Dark Magician who just would always go with this specific style, right?
And that's why it's called Dark Magician strats.
Precisely.
In fact, in the spoiler log, we even called the Stealthos room the DM room.
Chest number 6, I believe, was red rupee. Chest number 7 was a little love.
Yeah, they were not the big key. That's all that matters. So we're moving on to etium getting through the torch puzzle here. Very, very easy torch puzzle. I mean, just light the torches, right? And kill Skeleton, who is stupid enough to get in the way.
And watch the game.
And now one more Cane of Smart. Oh, he's out of magic. Has to use the bomb and hopefully gets it.
He gets it. Oh, little magic. There you go.
Yeah, now I get the magic.
Chest number 8, butter knife.
Butter!
Chest number 9, red rupee. 10, red rupee. 11, red rupee. There is more cash in here than we could ever imagine.
You know what? I'm going to say that it's in Rando Room. It has to be Rando Room.
Does that count as a chest?
No, that's where my 11 usually ends up. But etium broke my logic.
I just completely lost count now.
Oh, that was 11.
Thank you.
But at least we have the butter swords. I guess we can't complain. We know where that is now.
Make it slightly easier for the Ganon fight. But I think at that tier of damage, it's not that big.
At this point, etium has lost, in my opinion, a significant amount of time doing this strat. Because doing the Ganon's Tower this way and having to retrace all that ground, it's not that much ground, but having to retrace that bit of ground there is time that Frostbite can get back. In my opinion, you either do the full run to Random Room and then go right side, or you do the full run on the right side and then go to Random, and then go towards Random Room into the back that way. Those are the two routes that I see working out the best. Sometimes you don't get the key on the right side though, so it's really a question of how you want to play that gamble.
That was number 12. We just got the small key on, right?
Correct. This should be 13 coming up in Firebar Room.
I'm just terrified of losing count now. 13, another small key.
Well, at least we can open that door. etium's starting to drop some bombs because he doesn't need that many bombs anymore. Wants to avoid a menu later on, so he can use the last bomb on the wall leading to Moldorm 2.
Yeah, and keep it in mind, he does not know how far ahead or behind he is. For all he knows, that may actually save him.
That was 14, 15, 16.
17, is it?
That would have been number 11. I am salty right now, etium. We need to talk. I'm salty.
I noticed. But etium is getting his last bit of magic and just gunning for it.
So since etium completely broke my strategy of the big key guessing game and made sure that I did not win, we have to congratulate Quirky Geek, who is officially the winner, who did guess number 17, and we go by the order he opened them, not by the order that the commentator wants, which is logical. So congratulations to Quirky Geek. You win the prize of a...
I think we said he gets the cash in here, right?
No, it's a 25% discount to the Misery Mire Swamp Pit. Please enjoy.
Oh, nice.
Such a sad place. You'll feel it all year round.
Seems to me you'll still find reminders of your stay 10 days later.
That was also Quirky Geek's first win on the leaderboard, from what I can see as well.
Oh, congrats, Quirky!
Being noted by chat that etium has 6 arrows right now.
How many strikes are needed for Ganon at this point? Like,
4.
Yeah. Oh, okay, bye. There goes another one.
And now we're down to 5 arrows.
So while it... Go ahead.
It's not too bad losing a few arrows. You just lose a little bit of time having to do some regular spin slashes there, but you don't want to have to do that.
Pretty much exactly what I was going to say.
There are some arrows north of here, though, that we're going to be finding.
Well, he's down to 4, so hopefully he grabs them.
He needs to grab them. Don't risk losing them.
Frostbite has finished Trinic's first stage. So if he goes straight for the key, if he takes the opposite route that etium did, he may make up some ground.
Oh, missed the Wizrobe. That was not as clean as it could have been. Usually you can get 3 in the one shot and hit the other with a sword and you move right on. Had to take a little time to kill him.
One of the things I like about this urn room is that it always starts in the same position. So if you go fast, you do it cleanly, you're always going to be able to get it without getting a hit. But it doesn't look like etium quite got off that easily today. And he's going to have to drink a potion soon.
Not getting the magic potion in the staircase room. I find that very interesting.
Well, he's got at least 2 blue potions on him.
Well, still, very often you still take that free refill. I'm surprised he didn't do that. But with half magic, it's not as bad. But without half magic, a lot of runners will take that refill so they can save the potion.
True. Again, it's probably just boils down to what I said earlier. He does not know if he's ahead or behind. He does not know how far by much.
Now, being pointed out, there is another one as well, but since he did drink the potion, obviously he didn't need that refill either.
Getting Moldorm 2 pretty nice and easily, thanks to that butter sword.
Nice and buttery, and no opening the chest today, so chat will now riot as Etienne makes his way across to the absolute worst hallway in the game. Makes it look easy.
And there it is, Aga 2, it's geometry game time.
Time to have a geometry test. I love it.
He has all the right angles.
Well, there were two. The other one was a little obtuse. Blue ball, so we got two on that one. So double. Foil in trouble. And that was another blue ball, or that would have been 6. So I has to do another cycle. 2 blue balls on the Aghanim 2 fight. There is 6.
I was trying to think of a way to make a tangent or a cute joke before the game fight ended, but that was pretty clean, so good for etium.
I have to admit, Aghanim isn't really that cute.
Not to go off into tangents, but let's see if Frostbite does get his Somaria strats on this one.
So, for Etium, it's time for the Big Pig, who is not really a cute pig either. I'll stop with that now. Okay. Moving on.
He does have something to tell us, though.
Frostbite is doing the right side, so he is not going to come to the big key this way. And we're getting the breakfast message. Start your day smiling with a delicious whole grain breakfast created for your incredible insides.
Most important meal of the day.
Bacon. You have that breakfast in just a moment. And said breakfast is now in temper tantrum mode.
At this point, is it lantern keeping the lights lit time, or is that the next stage?
Next stage, and you can use a fire rod as well.
People go so fast on these ones. Sometimes I get confused.
Yeah, it's lantern or fire rod. Sometimes some runners will try lantern if they're low on magic, but fire rod is the typical strat, so you don't end up getting sidelined by Ganon by accident somewhere.
Yeah. Did you find the arrows in Hyrule Castle?
That was close. I'm surprised he didn't get punched off there by accident by a bat. And yes, he did find them, and he's going to demonstrate their use right now. As he also got Torch Touch, by the way. I forgot to point that out. So there's our 4th stick in the side of the ham, and we have crispy fried bacon, ladies and gentlemen. As Etium is going to be tying up this series between the Federated Drifters and the Titans, but it's going to be a 1-1 series. As Etium crosses the bridge and makes it official. And he has an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 59 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. The Windfish will wake soon.
You know, that's not wrong.
Chat for the Windfish.
What with the remake coming out soon?
Yeah, and get your GGs in chat for the Windfish waking soon. And we'll see if Etienne wants to join us here.
Frostbite making a little opposite routing of picking up the keys, but it does pay off because he got that Ganon key 2 chests earlier.
Of course, when you've already lost the race, it doesn't matter at that point, but he also didn't do the Dark Magician strat, so he did the tower a little bit faster just by virtue of that alone.
Now, do you happen to know his PD on this one?
On this type of seed?
Yeah.
I would have no idea. I don't often keep track of rando PBs because every seed is different.
That's fair. And it looks like we did get ETM in here with us.
Hey.
GG, ETM.
GG's.
So, tell us your thoughts about that seed.
That was it was an interesting seed. I was very surprised to find that hammer in Eastern. I thought it was going to be somewhere stupid.
What did you think about getting so many items so quickly?
It was definitely a nice start to the seed. Early boots, early silvers, all kinds of stuff. Definitely made, like, there was a lot of kind of interesting decision points where it wasn't entirely clear. I kept wanting to dip into Ice Palace because I had access to that very early. I am glad I never did that.
Frostbite did, and it put him quite a bit behind. There was nothing in there, really. Except for the book.
He did go tablet diving too, and obviously they had nothing either.
Yeah. I guess my biggest time loss would have been that Turtle Rock dip that turned up nothing, but I guess it wasn't too bad.
And you got through it. You at least made the checks so that when you were able to get back into it, you could just go clean through.
Yeah.
So, given how many things came early, were you starting to get panicked that the seed was so open that there was probably going to be something locked in some stupid place that, like the pedestal or something like that?
No, I like open seeds. They're much more interesting than, like, just linear stuff. Like, this was definitely an interesting seed for me. Like, it kind of allows you to be a little creative with your routing, which is, I think, one of the most interesting parts of Rando.
I can agree with that. Sometimes seeds are so linear, and I've reviewed a seed like that myself where you had to go up by logic up Death Mountain 3 separate times just to get to Aghanim. Like something like that where they're so linear that there's not really a lot of option. But like you said, a seed like this just shows a lot of creativity in how people route the seed.
Shoutouts to getting both males at the same time, almost.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, we thought that was kind of cool. Blind's clothing store today. So, was there anything? Given how open the seed was, as you said, is there anything in the seed that you might have routed differently if you were to do it again?
I think, like, when I initially went into the Dark World, I might have been, I don't know. I was considering going up to Skull Woods and doing some of the north checks first, but then I was thinking I want to route in Catfish somehow, and if I do that, I'm not going to get back easily, and I can route in Catfish later. So I decided to just do the Village of Outcasts, go south from there, and then come back later for Skull Woods and, like, Bumper Ledge and stuff like that. I think overall, like, I'm not unhappy with the way I routed. I don't know, that Turtle Rock dive I'm not sure about, I guess, because I had just got whatever it was, Bombos or Quake or something that opened Mire, so I could have just gone and done that instead of diving Turtle Rock without the fire rod. But my thinking was, like, I'm right here, I don't have the hook shot, so it's kind of a pain to get back, so I might as well just dive this right now just in case. I'm not sure if that's a good thought or not, but that was my thinking.
And while we're watching Frostbite, he's going down to the Big Pig himself right now. Just took out Aghanim. She'll probably be finishing in a couple minutes himself, and then he'll have the option to join us as well if he wishes.
Frostbite made that Turtle Rock dip too in the beginning too, so don't feel too bad about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you both made the play. You went there first before he did. On the contrary, when talk about Catfish, he got the flute before you did. In fact, I thought for a while that he was ahead in the race. So it was interesting how you ended up coming upon the items ahead of him and found the solution before he did to force a tie in the series. So very well-run seed on your part, getting to the key items before he did in that sense.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
And he did a little bit of a longer routing in Mizramar as well. He also did the... Oh, actually, there was something... I just remember something else about the race, too. he actually did go to Desert Palace before you did, but the problem with him going to Desert Palace before you did was that he didn't have the lamp at the time either, so he couldn't complete it at the time, and that also put him behind a little bit. He lost a little bit of time there too. After so you were at Mizumara at the same time, but he had to go back and do Desert Palace, which cost him a little bit of time too.
Oh, that's not that big a time loss. I mean, it's just kind of right there after Dumire. But shoutouts to diving Swamp Palace with no hammer. That paid off.
Yeah, that was a gamble. I'm surprised that you did that at that point, but I wouldn't question the play. I sometimes like to think it's there myself. Frostbite is finishing the GAN fight, by the way. He now has some nice crisp buttery bacon with that butter sword, and he is going to be crossing the finish line himself, and with an official SRL time of where was it? 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 27 seconds. This race is now officially concluded. We'll see if he wishes to join us. And see if we can get his attention here. While we're trying to get him in here, I'll just see if we can cover very quickly the schedule, because again, this is just game 2 of our playoff series. We will eventually have some icons on the screen showing the score as well. We don't have that ready in our system yet, so that will be updated on our layout in the future. But for right now, looking at the series coming up, just looking at our schedule, there's only one race on the schedule. Actually, there's 2 now. There's a second one that just got added, it looks like. So we have for this same series, Megawatt and Dante, the 2 players who have not yet played, they're having their race tomorrow at 8 p.m. So the series is now 1-1, and both teams are going to play off for the 3rd match in the series to make it so Megawatt for Fendron Drifters, Dante for the Titans Bits to make it a 2-1 series either way. Meanwhile, on the schedule, another race was just added. The last location versus Team Awesome. We have Goomba versus the Lane over in the Death Mountain division. That was added as well. That's 2 days from now on May 3rd at 6 in the evening. And I heard a noise. I'm going to assume that means we were joined.
That was Frostbite. GG,
by a Frostbite.
Yeah, I don't even bother with that crap in this seed. That was so terrible. GG, EDM, awesome job, buddy.
Hey, GG's.
Honestly, I'm just going to rant for a minute here. This is like my least favorite kind of common V31 seed that seems to happen over and over again, where it gives you Dark World access, so either both gloves or Glove Hammer and the Moon Pearl, and then the 4th of them is in Sphere 1 in Eastern Palace. And it happens over and over and over and over again. And I guess I'm the moron because I keep getting burned by it, but like it just doesn't even feel random anymore, the number of times that happens. And maybe it's because I'm prone to getting burned by that exact location that I notice it over and over again. But I could pull up 30 friggin' seeds out of my computer that has that exact same formulation, and it's very frustrating to me. So yeah, I mean, I made one bad choice. I made the great choice to go across the top and find the flute right away because I was kind of tilted after dying on my way to Ice Rod Cave, and then I didn't mirror into Eastern Palace, and that conservatively cost me, I don't know, 27.5 to 30 minutes probably, because like I double dipped Swamp, I went into Ice Palace, I found the book, I spent another 5 minutes checking those locations. Like, it literally couldn't have gone worse.
Well, you were both...
I didn't even play well.
Yeah, you did both go to Mizumire and find the items there around the same time. I think you took a little bit of a longer route because etium didn't move the wall, whereas you did take that path. But other than that...
I figured he... Like, I didn't know where anything was at that point, right? So I figured... The only advantage I have right now is this lamp that I pulled out of the first chest in Swamp. And so I was going to check those 2 chests no matter what, unless I found the 2 items before then. So that was why I did that.
I dove Swamp as well without the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the point that you guys went to Swamp, and being completely honest when I say this, I think you both had every reason to believe that Swamp was where your progression was. Or not Swamp, I take that back. I'm thinking Mire. By the time we got to Mizumire, we had figured out by that point that had to be where the progression was, so we knew that anyway. Well, obviously, the bow came up there.
Yeah, I figured the progression was in Mizumire from about 23 minutes in when I went over there and didn't find anything in the places that weren't Mire, so that flute wasn't there for nothing. It was very free, and the flippers... Like, see, the problem is my logic's all screwed up because the way I was thinking about it assumed that the hammer wasn't just going to be sitting in darn Sphere 1, so Yeah, like it was so free. This seed had a 115 in it. If you just basically did what I did, only didn't die, executed a little better, and went at Eastern Palace. But neither one of us made that choice because it's a sort of dumb choice to make after you find the Moon Pearl in Sasha's closet.
I'm always in favor of going to Eastern Palace, but at the same time, I know a lot of runners don't like to go there without the bow.
Yeah.
Because the odds of it being in Eastern Palace are fairly low. But again, that's happened too. Sometimes the way it does, you really feels gross.
Yeah. It's not just the bow though, right? Because we didn't have the lamp, and so I don't really care about the dark rooms. But the lamp cuts off a bunch of the places where your logically required items can even be in Eastern Palace. Like you're likely only getting one, at most two items in logic on your dive in there too.
Right.
So I mean that's why I tend not to go in there. And the only time I'll go in there is if I go over there early. But because of the way it routed and with early boots and whatnot, and it being a crystal, that's just not a play I'm going to make.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Etium and I consider we're fairly close in skill. So if I figured I was super overmatched, maybe that's a play I'd make right away. But not in a race I feel like I can win if I just play cleanly.
And I mean, aside from a couple choices, I don't think you played badly at all. It just, as it turned out, this was one of those seeds that you hate.
No, I mean,
so
if
don't
you
get down on yourself too much.
I'm just. It is what it is. I'm more pissed off at the game than myself. Because it's happened so often, this combo. But you look at the time difference. I bet if you calculate how much time I spent in Ice Palace and then how much time I spent chasing the book that I found in Ice Palace,
you probably could have caught up easily and gone through.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Hey, it's what happens in Rando, right?
Yep.
It's just make the wrong play at the wrong time, and that's what happens. It's like I like to say in any Rando, and I'm not talking about just Link to the Past Rando. I'm talking about Zelda 1 Rando. I'm talking about Final Fantasy Rando, where I've actually seen in a 4-way race someone completely unknown basically take down some champions. Anyone can beat anyone on any day. It literally can happen. So that's the beauty of Rando at the same time as it's the curse of Rando, especially when it comes to tournament races.
Oh yeah, exactly. Let's just get that bulk seed numbers out so we can see how frequently progressions in Eastern Palace in V31. That's all I'm asking for. It's insane. Hype Cave never has progression. Eastern Palace is just absolutely loaded. Not only did it have the hammer, it had the hook shot too. Like, how ridiculous is that? It gives you the bow, and then the bow's not even in pod. I mean, like, Eastern Palace, I guarantee you it has way more progression than pod. Now, that makes sense. It's in Sphere 1, I get it, but it's crazy how often stuff is in there. I guess I'm just going to start meme routing and just go right to Eastern Palace every time, right at the start of the gate. And
you realize as soon as you do that, there's going to be nothing in there, right?
Of course,
yeah,
of course.
Pretty much.
It's just like, how often is Hype Cave empty, right? It never has anything in it. I say that never. One of the practice seeds I had a loaded Hype Cave. But, it really frequently has nothing in it. And I've actually started, not skipping it, but sort of not routing right to it in the way I used to. And the second you start altering that is the second the game's like, oh, yeah, you want your myths in Hype Cave this time? Here you go. No, it is random, obviously, but it's just frustrating. And this is a particular seed that, if you'd given me the spoiler log and let me judge my outcomes, I would have said, ooh, this one ain't going to go good for me. So... But no, again, GG Etium, he had to win it. He did a good job. He beat me by a significant margin. And yeah, I mean, I'll say my execution was terrible from the start. I think I had a 6:15 escape time, which is maybe the worst sword escape I've had in 6 months. And then right up to the wrong choice in Ganon's Tower. It was just bad from start to finish. So.
And sometimes they go like that, unfortunately. I will ask a question for both of you, though, and I can say this now knowing that we are at a 1-1 point in the series. Obviously, Game 4 will be required now.
Yep.
Has there been... And you don't have to reveal if you don't have to because we're in here, but have either of you your teams thought about who to send in for Game 4?
Yeah, we thought about it, but...
No, it's already... we're already scheduling it. It's going to be SAGTG against Megawatt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So Megawatt's going to be doing the next 2 games. Very interesting.
And it looks like they are going to make it for Friday at 3 p.m. Based on the discussion I'm looking at.
Interesting. Well, I'm not gonna. Well, I'm not gonna say
Game 3 tomorrow. So
yeah, they play Dante and Megawatt play tomorrow. So
indeed. Well, I'm not gonna stay too long on that. I just wanted to see what the thoughts were about that, so we can drive some hype for that in the for the viewers as well. So now we know that SAGTG and Megawatt will be playing Game 4 after Megawatt and Dante play Game 3. Which Game 3 again is tomorrow. I think I'm just gonna get that time again. That time is 8 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow that they play tomorrow. So make sure you're here somewhere on Speed Game. We don't know which channel yet, but it will be somewhere on the Speed Game family of channels when we see that race tomorrow. And we want to get out of the way because there is a race scheduled right behind us here. So there is a Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer weekly race taking place. So we want to get out of the way here. Any last thoughts before we wrap up?
No, just GG Frost, and thanks to you guys for coming and to the trackers.
Yeah, GG guys. I don't think I have enough time to join this nightly, unfortunately, because I'm going to need a salty run back after this one. So.
Understandable, completely understandable. Any last thoughts from you, Tony?
No, this was fun. That's all I gotta say. And a big thank you to Ursula, for our tracker. Much appreciated you keeping us back up, and a double thanks to chat as well for playing along with our puns and rhymes.
And make sure, of course, to follow our runners as well. And obviously follow Ursula, our tracker, Ursula4115, who is our tracker today. But make sure to follow our runners. For those watching on YouTube, Etium has found an Etium2. So added 2 to his name, twitch.tv. Other than that, it's twitch.tv followed by a slash in the name that you see at the top with a 2 after Etium's name. And as for our commentators, MAEGE1 is where you'll find Tony, and then I'm CycloneGU on Twitch. Other than that, follow Speed Gaming, Speed Gaming 2 through 6. That is what's most important here, because that's where you're going to see all this wonderful racing action and all these wonderful events that are going on. Not just this, but like we said, Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, which is coming up. We also have some Magic the Gathering happening on another channel. We have Overworld Glitches races. We have Final Fantasy Randomizer. We have all sorts of things. Bloodborne started today as well. So all sorts of things you can check out here. Make sure to follow Speed Gaming 2 through 6 for all of that. We're going to get out of the way for the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer. So I want to wish all of you a wonderful evening on behalf of Tony and Ursula and everyone else here. Have a great evening. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, and may not all your seeds be pet seeds. Good night.
Night.